Hi there, hope you're good today. Today I want us to talk about budgeting. What is budgeting to you? Is it something worth doing, or is it something that you feel is a futile exercise? Of course, there are two schools of thoughts. One school of thought says it's a worthless exercise, the other one says we need to do it. I see value in budgeting. Now, I'm going to define budgeting or a budget to you today, and then we can derive the reason or the importance of budgeting from that definition. Now, a simple definition of budgeting is putting together a spending plan. You put together a spending plan. You put together a plan on how you're going to spend your money. Naturally or obviously, we receive our salaries every month end or mid-month of every month. And when we get the income, the question is, how are you going to spend your income? When you have a spending plan, the spending plan will direct how you distribute your income to the various line items, to your expenses, to your financial commitments. And that's the benefit of a spending plan. Your spending plan helps you even to say no to certain things because you have already prioritized things on your spending plan to say, this is how I plan to distribute my income. Any unnecessary or unplanned for item, I cannot accommodate it right now. Now, the end result will be, after spending your money, you'll either have a negative balance, a positive balance, or a break-even balance. A break-even balance, that's where your income equals your expenses. And then a positive balance means you are left with some surplus, some disposable income. A negative balance means you are living beyond your means. So the plan helps you to predict these outcomes. And once you are able to predict these outcomes, you are able to rationalize and review your plan, your spending plan, so that your spending plan does not go beyond what you earn, beyond your income. Now, secondly, there are two things that you need to pay attention to your budgeting. Firstly, your budgeting must be forward-looking. When I look at your spending plan, it must tell me how you plan to spend your income in the future. So before the end of the month, your plan must tell me this is how you are going to spend your money. It's forward looking, right? And then it guides you. You are able to say yes or no. You are able to reject certain things because you are going by the plan that you've put together. But also your spending plan must be backward looking, which means you must be able to reflect. You must be able to look back and say, last month I budgeted, I put together this plan. Now I've spent my money. Can I reconcile the two, my spending and the plan? Did I go according to the plan? Now, as you go through this reconciliation, two things can happen. You would have either complied with the plan, which is a good thing, but sometimes you'll find that you have deviated from the plan. Now, if you have deviated from the plan, the first question you must ask yourself is, why did I deviate? And secondly, you must ask yourself, was the reason for my deviation valid or necessary? So if the reason for the deviation was necessary, then you will need to consider that deviation and consider putting it in your line items so that it becomes a recurring item on your spending plan. But if the reason for the deviation cannot be substantiated, that's an opportunity for you to learn from that experience, to say, I deviated and there was no valid reason for me to deviate. Then you put controls in place to say, in the future, how do I avoid this deviation? In the future, how do I avoid spending money on things that I did not plan for? Then you put controls in place. So it is important that you always remember that your budget must be forward looking and backward looking. Also, what I like about the plan is that once you've put your plan in place and you are disciplined, you keep to the plan, it ensures that you do not get into unnecessary debt, because you have planned for everything and then you are willing to abide by the plan. So when there's an urge for you to engage in debt, you are able to say, no, according to the plan, this is what I must spend and this is what I must spend on. And then you remain within the confines of your income. Remember, if you don't plan for your finances will plan for you. And when finances plan for you, you are more likely to get into debt, because there is nothing that is restraining you from getting into debt. A spending plan helps restrain you so that you live within your means. Now, these days there are multiple apps that can help you put together a budget. If you are technologically savvy, you get a lot of apps on the internet that you can use to plug in your information, and it generates a budget for you, and you just monitor and keep on changing wherever there's a need for you to change. But if you feel like technology is too much for you, get yourself a spreadsheet, put together a budget on a spreadsheet, a spending plan. Let it show your income, your expenses, what you are left with, and then you manage your finances according to that spending plan. It is important that you have a budget. It is important that you start putting together a spending plan. It will go a long way. Hope this video helped you. Thank you. Bye.